So yeah, Knuckle Duster was full on just ready to straight up die. Like, there's no two ways about it. The man was ready to die. Because he's just like, well, last time I underestimated you and you escaped the collapsing building. This time, though, the building is on fire, so you're gonna get some kind of damage throughout all of this. And I'm just gonna keep punching you right up until the end, big boy. And even when number 6 forms the gun on his hand, it's just like, joke's on you, I've got body armor. Now, granted, point blank shots, you're still gonna feel it through Kevlar and all that good stuff. You know, my internal organs, they mash potatoes right about now. But I just need about 5 seconds of you staying here before everything goes up in a big old fiery tornado. It's gonna be the biggest dang old bonfire you ever done seen. Unfortunately, when Knuckle Duster goes for the detonator and activates the explosives, nothing happens. And why does nothing happen? Well, Soga shows up and he's just like, yeah, I knew what you were up to. We found the bombs. They've been sitting here for a long ass time, so of course we knew they were here. And I disarmed all of them. Like hell we're going to let you die like this, you old bastard. And to a certain degree, I have to give it up to Soga. I was wondering, Soga had to have known those were there because he stumbled upon them. So he had to have known what Knuckle Duster's plan was. And him not being involved initially wouldn't have made any sense. But now his coming in, it just makes a lot of sense now. Unfortunately, this leaves everyone in a bit of a pickle. Because while Soga does show up with a shotgun, or rifle, or whatever this thing is, I don't know my guns. The best bet Soga would have would be to blow off number 6's head. But he is not a killer. And that leaves everyone at a bit of a disadvantage. Because as soon as number 6 regenerates enough to take a breath, they all die. They all just die right there in an instant. Big old bloody chunks all over the place. He will have no mercy on all of them. But as he regenerates, who should show up? None other than Koichi, grabbing him and rocketing away. Koichi bumps number 6, grabs him by the torso, takes him up high, and just starts rocketing across the city because the one thing we haven't seen from number 6 is flight capabilities. Honestly, it's kind of Koichi using a little bit of number 6's own strategies against him. And that's, fighting in the air is hard. There's not really much you can do when you're up in the air or free falling downward. Your ability to move is drastically decreased. And Koichi full on plans on just dragging him out of the city, as he puts it, the neighborhood at least. Meanwhile, Knuckle Duster's just like, you used my own strategy against me. You used me as bait. No, you used yourself as bait so that Koichi could come in and take number 6, leaving us safe and sound. That's some big brain thinking, Soga. I don't know if that was completely Soga's plan, honestly, but I mean, whatever works. And Knuckle Duster feels like he's going to die here. Like, whatever Knuckle Duster had left in the tank, he put it all into that plan. And, there was no plan to recover from whatever would have come his way. But Soga, much like in a moment like we saw in My Hero Academia, especially the 5th season towards the end, where All Might was lamenting living through what happened in, I think it was Camino, where Eraserhead had come to All Might and told him to live, to keep on living. Soga kind of does the same for Knuckle Duster, saying there are people who are still waiting on you to come home. Especially speaking of his daughter. It's just like that was my biggest thing. It's just like, dude, your daughter's still alive. Why would you just leave her like this? That's too cruel. That is too cruel for his daughter. I get that he doesn't want this monster ever coming after her or anybody he cares about ever again, but that's rough. It's rough for the people left behind. And, now technically Knuckle Duster is the one left behind, as Soga tells him sit back and watch, as that's all you can do. Trust in Koichi, who is really punching it. Like, if he could output this much power on the regular, like, wow. But naturally, with Koichi back in the mix, this just infuriates number 6 so much. So much that he just explodes, just blows himself up right then and there. Which, I have to assume that hurt him too, because it's his own self-destruct. He does that tend to damage himself. I'm just not quite sure how much of himself he blew up in order to try to damage Koichi. Because we have been shown that Koichi makes him irrational. So I wouldn't be surprised if we came around away from this blast and number 6 is in the worst shape possible. And Koichi managed to survive the blast by producing like the biggest force shield possible and just barely managing to push the explosion away from him. Because I can't see Koichi dying because he's just been too intensely adept at countering number 6 at every friggin' turn. And it's funny too because the question is right back where it started with the fight against number 6. How is he going to be brought down? His regeneration abilities are just too much for most of the characters that we have on hand. So unless someone else comes in to join into the fray, I don't see how Koichi could pull off just putting number 6 down for the count. But if you have any ideas, put it in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and theories on how number 6 will finally be taken down. I've always been under the impression that someone else is going to step in because I've only seen this team as more of a stalling tactic. Honestly, it's what Koichi has been the best at for the longest time. Stalling and distracting. And that being the final bit of effort on his part, it would make a lot of sense to me. But if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.